Hi, and welcome back to another episode in my Zodiac-inspired makeup series, and in today's look, we're covering all things of the water barrier, Aquarius. Aquarius, ruled by Saturn and Uranus, positive and masculine in expression. Aquarius is a fixed sign, also ruling air. Personally, when I think of Aquarius, the type of air is more kind of like the air in a tire, like compressed air or zero gravity, up outer space type. That different kind of air that you don't really see. It's always somewhere else, like you can't breathe it in, but it's there just on a whole nother different level. A few key words for Aquarius are imagination, independent, unpredictable, inventive, bored by detail, progressive, cold, artistic, shy, scientific, eccentric, logical, radical. Aquarians are the mental pioneers, the forward-thinking individuals who live in the future and not in the past. They are outgoing and impersonally friendly and appear to have a great deal of confidence. The fixity of the sign is not apparent on the surface, but Aquarians are inflexible in their ideas and cannot be pushed into anything they do not want to do. There is an impersonality and a detachment that is maddening to those who are completely immersed in their emotions. Aquarians approach life through their intellect, and it is difficult for them to understand those who respond to life emotionally. Aquarians function exceptionally well in the scientific fields or in research work of any kind. Aquarians are much more emotionally involved in their work than they are with people. It is important that they like the type of work they do, for it occupies most of their time and they invest most of their vital force and energy into their occupation. Aquarians hardly dislike any restraint. They are rebels and individualists. They have to go their own way, learning their own way. Independent, imaginative, creative, and inventive. There is a genius about them if they are evolved. If they live on the destructive side, they can be mentally cruel, sadistically so, and totally lacking in love or mercy. Because of their strong will that brooks no interference with their desires, they have difficulties in marriage, in unions, and friendships. They have strong physical bodies, though they would rather use their minds than do physical work. Aquarians are critical and demanding in positions of authority, and it is not easy to be their employees. There is a coldness and a detachment that repels rather than attracts, especially if the sun is afflicted. When they are evolved and their emotions are tenderized, no one is more magnanimous or monumental. When they feel love instead of think it, they are great souls. No one can think love, one has to feel it. The Aquarians usually have two types of friends. They have the conservative, traditional type, and then the unconventional bohemian friends. One type represents the Saturnian side of their nature, the other group, the Uranian side. Aquarians work well in organizational work or in big business. They are capable of being good leaders and organizers. They are the individualists who are ready and willing to break new traits where inventive ideas and new procedures are concerned. When the Aquarians are of the higher type, they make a lasting contribution to the world. In a cosmic sense, the sign Aquarius is very important, for it is the sign of the incoming age. The cosmic year is 25,000-year duration. Each cosmic year is about 2,160 years in time. We are just leaving the Piscean age. Pisces is the 12th house sign of restriction and limitation. It is an emotional sign that has more to do with faith than restriction. Pisces' keyword is I believe. The keyword of Aquarius is I know. We stand between two ages, and to faith must be added knowledge and intuition. Intuition is inner knowing, like that gut feeling, like I know this is about to happen. I know it from within. That is the sign you're in the age of Aquarius. Aquarius has two rulers, Saturn and Uranus. They must work together or chaos will be the result. Uranus is the shattering force that breaks up old forms. Saturn is the agent which crystallizes forms or structures and establishes them in an ego complex. Saturn is the oldest of the gods and represents the first law of manifestation, the law of limitation. Without the concentration of energy within a defined field of activity, there would be no power or focus. Uranus represents the power or life force. Saturn represents the confining form that makes it usable on the earth plane. If we can understand these two energies, we will understand what is happening in the world today. Without the responsibility inherent in Saturn, the force of Uranus can cause destruction and chaos. Without the discipline of Saturn, there can be no real freedom. Freedom without responsibility is license and not liberty. Aquarius is the sign of spiritual rebirth. In this age of Saturn, responsibility, and Uranus, liberation, go hand in hand. The whole problem of liberty is involved in Aquarius, the liberator. True liberation can only come from within. The 11th sign, Aquarius, governs the section of the sky from 300 degrees to 330. So way back in the day, it was regarded as a natural sign of the rainy season, Aquarius was, but now it's more like winter still, like January, February, but back then it was the rainy time, like when all the rain started pouring down. And it was also related to the god Enki. Enki, who came out of the waters to teach wisdom and knowledge, spending the daytime on land and returning to the water at night. The representation of Aquarius as a man pouring out water may indicate a man from the water pouring out knowledge. The Babylonians called this constellation the curse of rain. To the Egyptians, the overflowing of the Nile at this season was a blessing, caused by the divine potter dipping his huge jug into the river. When the winter solstice came in this constellation, way back in the Greek time, the Greeks regarded it as the symbol of Zeus, the creator, who poured out the water onto the earth to fertilize all the seeds. Everything back then was just so beautiful and poetic. The symbol for Aquarius is these squiggly lines that you'll see me draw on my face here in a little bit, but it's the symbol for water, and all the legends concerning this constellation have some bearing onto this. In the Egyptian zodiac, Aquarius carries 2 amphoras. They're like 2 tall water jugs, so there's 2 of them, right? So this version merely affects the numerical system, with there being 2 and everything. It affords a clear proof of the dual force of the symbol, its active and its passive aspects, its evolution and its involution. A duality which is the essence and important symbol of Gemini. So it's kind of like Gemini, but just a step up. The duality of this sign is also indicated by the fact that water has a solid form of ice and a liquid state. But it was the water that came from the sky that has historically been of such great importance to mankind, for our very survival depends on it. The sky god Aquarius gave us the rain, which is why Aquarius was regarded as being an air sign, and after the rain filled the seas and the rivers and made the plants grow so that man and animal could exist. The wise man, representing Enki, came from the waters to teach us wisdom. If your sun sign is in Aquarius, these people tend to be the most progressive thinking individuals. Here we find the social reformers, the inventors, the space age individuals, Uranus, the planet of sudden changes, sudden happenings, sudden flashes of genius, for good or bad, rules this sign, and those who fall under its influence represent in their characteristics many traits which are often disturbing to more conservative individuals in society. They tend to be unconventional and are known for their total disregard for what others think or even say about them. Lucky you guys, huh? Aquarius rules over the 11th house in the natal chart. The keyword is social consciousness, a house of group relationships. The 11th house shows your capacity for friendship, your attitude towards your friends and acquaintances, and all other non-emotional relationships. It indicates what you most desire in your life, your goals, the love you receive, as well as the money obtained from a profession. Here we see your humanitarian interests, how you are in large and small organizations, and the clubs and social groups to which you belong. And now, to continue the legend of the Zodiac story. And it was morning, as God stood before his 12 children, and into each of them planted the seed of human life. To you, Aquarius, I give the concept of future, that man might see other possibilities. You will have the pain of loneliness, for I do not allow you to personalize my love, but for the turning of man's eyes to new possibilities, I give you the gift of freedom, that in your liberty you may continue to serve mankind whenever they need you. And Aquarius stepped back into place.